NFL Anytime Touchdown Props Thanksgiving and Black Friday edition. I'm going to give you my 3 favorite plays. We're going to wrap them up into our highest pay dirt parlay of the season at plus 924. And we also have a plus 270 long shot play for you. I'm Steve Seagrave from Sportsmemo.com. And if you guys enjoy these videos, you already know what to do. Like and subscribe. And post your anytime touchdown picks in the comment section. If you don't have a pick, if you could just type in the letters TD if you want to help us out a little bit with the algorithm. So these plays are just going to cover Thanksgiving and Black Friday. And then on Friday, we'll have another video to cover Sunday and potentially Monday Night Football. So keep your eyes open for that. We're coming off a brutal Week 12. Can't hide from it. We didn't have a single touchdown. But I really feel like Javonte Williams was our only bad call. I think he had 7 carries for no yards. But Brian Robinson Jr. gets hurt on the first play of the game. He does return, but he didn't play the entire second half. I feel like our read was correct, obviously, to target Carolina with opposing tight ends. But unfortunately, it was Noah Gray, that scored 2 touchdowns instead of Kelce. And then Quentin Johnston on Monday Night Football, he drops a pass where he had a blocker with 1 tackler in front of him and nothing but open field. I feel like he would have scored the touchdown on that play. And we also had Herbert's over passing yards in that game on a separate situation, but and he would have gotten over the total on that if Johnston did hold on to that pass. But that's besides the point. We're going to move on to today, Thanksgiving and Black Friday, and we're going to look to bounce back strong. Going right back to Travis Kelce. It's my favorite play of the week by far at plus 120 over at FanDuel. And we have a couple of narratives behind this play. He's 1 touchdown away from setting the Chiefs' all-time record for receiving touchdowns. He's going to surpass Tony Gonzalez on his next touchdown. And Gonzalez will be in the building. He will doing pregame, postgame, and halftime stuff for Amazon. So he's going to be there for Kelce to break his record in front of him, hopefully. And Patrick Mahomes is also 1 passing touchdown away from setting the breaking Len Dawson's Chiefs franchise record for passing touchdowns. So it would just be perfect if the first touchdown went to Kelce and they both were able to set those franchise records together. We also have another narrative here where Kelce showed some frustration with Mahomes as they had a miscommunication and were unable to connect on a pass last week. So I think they're going to look to get right the ship this week in perfect target. We got the Vegas Raiders, who Kelce only has 2 touchdowns on the year, but one of them came against the Raiders. Raiders tied for the second most tight end touchdowns allowed with 7. They've also allowed the 6th most tight end receiving yards. Chiefs favored by 12 points in this game, so I think it gives Mahomes the opportunity to target Kelce and focus on getting him that touchdown. If they don't get it on the first pass, maybe they set their franchise record separately. But with Tony Gonzalez in the building, this sitting at plus 120, and it's not just that, it's a great matchup. I love this one. Top play of the week, Kelce plus 120. Number 2 on the list, we're going to go to a guy we haven't used yet before, Tyrone Tracy Jr. at plus 160 over at FanDuel. Despite Brian Robinson Jr. not getting the job done, the Cowboys are still a great team to target with opposing running backs, obviously. They've allowed the 2nd most rushing touchdowns with 19 and the most rushing yards with a little over 150 per game. Tracy has scored 3 touchdowns in his last 6 games, and he's alternated. He's going every other game with touchdowns, and he didn't score last week against Tampa Bay. He's getting plenty of work in the red zone. 9 red zone rushing attempts in his last 3 games, and 3 targets in his last 4 games. The Giants' quarterback situation is a mess. DeVito has an injury to his throwing forearm. He might play, but regardless if he does or not, if not, it's still a mess at the quarterback situation. If it's not him, it looks like it's going to be Drew Lock. So I think it would be in the Giants' best interest here to lean on the ground game against this Cowboys run defense. And number 2 on the list will be Tracy Jr., plus 160. We're going to go back to Devon Achane. We took him, I think, a couple weeks ago, and he got the job done for us. He's at minus 120 at FanDuel as well. The best prices between FanDuel and DraftKings on these plays is over at FanDuel. So Achane has scored in 4 of his last 5 games with 6 total touchdowns during that span of time. And he scored 3 touchdowns now in his last 2 games. He's getting the lion's share of the workload with Mostert in the doghouse. And he's been heavily targeted in the red zone as well. He's had, over his last 5 games, he's had 11 red zone attempts and 7 targets. He's had 10-plus attempts, rushing attempts, and 4-plus targets in his last 5 games. Green Bay is a middle-of-the-pack run defense, and but the total is sitting at 48 here. I think we're going to see a bunch of points in this game, and I think Achane can continue the streak that he's been on, where he's basically been scoring in almost every game over the last 5. And like I said, 3 touchdowns in the last 2. So we're going to wrap up those 3 guys. 2 of them at plus money. Kelce, Achane, and Tracy Jr. comes out to plus 924 for our pay dirt parlay. Before we go into the long shot, I want to let you know we do have a Thanksgiving special that we run every year over at WagerTalk and Sportsmemo. It's a great deal where you can get 7 days of all access plays, all sports, including 5% plays as soon as they're released for $69, so a little less than $10 per day. For me, that's going to include tons of NFL action, my college football play of the week, which we're on a 7-2 run with those. NHL, we've kept it low volume, but we are 8-4. And then NBA, where we're still number 1 so far this season over at sportsmemo.com. And speaking of NBA, I still have the NBA Pass right up until the All-Star break for $199. It'll give you all my NBA plays until mid-February for just a little bit more than $2 per day. So I'd strongly encourage you guys to check out one of those 2 packages. And as always, my plays and packages are linked in the pinned comment. So let's get to the long shot play. We're going Roschon Johnson at plus 270 at FanDuel. He's scored in his last 2 games now, and 5 of his last 8 games. Over the last 2 games, he's had 6 red zone targets and 6 red zone rushing attempts, as well as 1 target. Detroit, admittedly, they have a tough defense. And speaking of them, I always have a tough choice to make with them, who to go with the touchdown. And like I always say, I don't want to go with anybody that's higher than minus 150 for these videos, so it kind of rules out guys like Gibbs and Monty and Saquon Barkley when he's in action, things like that. So, but like I said, Detroit does have a tough defense, but they have allowed 7 running back touchdowns. Total is 48. Bears are going to need to score to keep up with the Lions in this one. And when they get in close, Johnson has been the man. So that'll be our long shot play at plus 270. I also considered Noah Gray and Brock Bowers, the tight ends from the Raiders-Chiefs game. If you guys are looking to dig into some other potential long shot plays, I considered those 2 players as well. But that's it for the video. Like I said, our official plays, Kelce, Tracy Jr., and Achane. They are the pay dirt parlay this week at plus 924. Our highest pay dirt parlay of the year. And Roschon Johnson, plus 270 as our long shot play. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button on the way out, leave a comment on the way out, and happy Thanksgiving. I'll see you guys Friday for some another video for some touchdowns. Good luck and enjoy the day.